Good evening. I'm Senator Jenelle Holmquist, and what an honor and pleasure it is to join you here this evening. Now, when the opportunity of an open seat presented itself to the Washington citizens, my husband Matt, who's back there, born here in Yakima, he and we prayed about it really hard. And what it came down to was the basic fact that it would be very difficult for us to look our son in the eyes without at least trying to improve upon the legacy that our nation is passing down to the next generations. And when we're talking about that legacy, we're talking about nearly $18 trillion of debt, a struggling economy, a constant attack on our constitutional rights and our Christian principles. And the stakes are just too high. I'm running to be your next Congresswoman to ensure that my son and your children and your grandchildren have the same opportunities at that American dream as you and I have shared. And unfortunately, that's really at risk in our country. And while we have a great group of conservatives here in this race, what you gain with me is that proven track record to back up my promises and my commitments and my Republican ideals and ideas. It's been a great blessing of my life to serve you in the Washington State Senate. I've been working to protect you, your wallets, and your rights, and I would be honored and blessed to be your warrior in Congress. Now, while we have a little time here, let's talk a little bit about protecting your wallets. I helped lead the charge to ensure that Washington State became the first state in our nation to have a 4-year constitutional balanced budget amendment. And folks, if we can accomplish that in liberal Washington State, I know we can get it done in Congress. And when it comes to protecting your wallets, the proof is in my voting record. As your senator, I have never voted for a tax increase on Washington citizens. Now let's talk about protecting your rights, whether it be myself defending you on your property rights, including your water rights, your constitutional rights, or your personal liberties. Again, I have that proven track record to back it up. Just this year, I helped pass landmark drone oversight legislation in Olympia, and you can count on me to stand up for you in Congress. Regardless of the issue, whether it be combating Obamacare or fighting tooth and nail to protect our hydropower dams, or an issue that's near and dear to my heart as the chair of Commerce and Labor Committee, economic development and private sector job creation, regardless of the issue, I've got the proven track record, and I've also shown that you can stand strong on your core principles and still get things accomplished. And boy, do we need more of that in Congress. I am the most prepared to bring the battle to Pelosi and President Obama and get them to come along to our ideals instead of being force-fed their anti-American agenda. I can't do it alone. I need your help. I need your support, and I would be honored to receive your vote. Thank you. Oh, I love it.
Now we'll hear from Clint Davis.
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Thanks for having me here. I'm a husband of 32 years to my wife, Christy, 4 children, 3 grandchildren. I was born and raised on a farm in Eltopia, Washington. Eltopia that once was hell to pay. It was hell to pay because when the railroad workers laid down the irons on those ties and drove the spikes, it was 117 degrees. They said they had to go through hell to get their paycheck. When I get to D.C., there's going to be hell to pay. And then I left that farm and got to live my American dream. Rose to the pinnacle in the NFL, played in 3 Super Bowls. After I got done with the NFL, I came back, my wife and I, we bought our first farm, and today we're farming 1,000 acres, right there in Eltopia, Washington. We the people. We the people. Besides the Bible, those are the 3 most powerful words in all of mankind. The first 3 words are the founding documents of this country. This is our country. We just got to have the courage and the fortitude to take it back. Charlton Heston stated, "The American dream is not success or riches, it's freedom." Freedom. And yet our freedom's being eroded right below our feet. With what's going on at the border, what's going on with the debt, you name it, the law is not being followed with this country anymore. The Constitution's not being followed. And we need people to step up and serve this country like you and I. The commoners, what the House of Representatives was supposed to be filled with. not career politicians, but you and I. We're supposed to go back and serve this great land and then come back to our way of life, and that's just what I intend on doing. When I attended that Freedom Works conference in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, yes, I got Freedom Works endorsement. They are a liberty-minded organization. And when I attended that, it occurred to me, freedom does work, and it has worked throughout history, worldwide. And that's what we got to get back to, is freedom. This campaign is not just about guns. If you've seen on the website, I gave away guns. It's about restoring the rule of law. It's about recognizing and adhering to the Bill of Rights. This is what we got to do as a country. We got to get back to the rule of law. We got to hold Obama accountable. The best scene in my mind is Obama with Eric Holder and Harry Reid under each arm getting booted out of D.C. because these are tyrannical leaders, and we got to get rid of them. Clint Didier for Congress. That's with a 4. Please go to my website. Thank you very much.
Glenn Stockwell.
Well, just like coming home to me. I grew up in Yakima. I grew up out in Montana, Wiley City, and went to school at West Valley, and went to college at Yakima Valley College. I was actually the second baby born in Memorial Hospital. You can tell it's been a few years ago. But anyway, I'm coming forward to serve our country, and like these other candidates here, I am a conservative, I am a Tea Party member, and we need to take back our country. My agenda, and I swear to God and Jesus Christ and all the voters of the 4th District, when I get back there, I will aggressively begin impeachment of Obama. He goes by 3 different names I know of. He has 3 different social security numbers. The first week I take office, I will work daily and weekly until Obama has been impeached and imprisoned, along with Harry Reid and other people. And I will go to Congress. I will not care which party. We have people that have committed treason in our country from both parties, if you read history. I've read history for over 35 years. I'm well versed in it. I'm coming to the table because I'm going to bring to our state the 2nd largest construction project to Washington State in 69 years. If you look behind you over there, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I didn't know I could have it up front here. I'm going to combine the Snake River Irrigation Project along with the Columbia Basin Project and the Yakima River Project. And I've known how to fund these projects. I know where the money is at. We can do it without any new taxes. We can do it with pre-existing money. I've gone out on projects that were quite as large a numbers as we're talking about here. I've gone out and gotten funding for an excess of $97 million in other projects. And very few people can make that comment. But anyway, I know we're talking about billion-dollar projects, but we have a method of funding these locally. We can take control of these projects. We've been waiting over 69 years for funding on these projects from the federal government, and I disagree with Yakima Herald on their concept that we should get the funding from the federal government. I would never turn money down from the federal government, but I will show the people how we can go out and aggressively attain the money that is within Washington State to fund these projects. And if you vote for me, I'd surely appreciate it. Thank you.
Gordon Pross.
Well, I just found out about this occasion about 3 hours ago, and I'm glad to be here. As the gentleman said, my name is Gordon Allen Pross, and my candidacy is no stranger to your federal ballot. 2014 is my 8th time up there on the ballot, and I'm not up there just to hear myself talk. It's not about ego. I stole that a long time ago when I became a Christian. God says, bring righteousness to his people and run the good race. Now, we just celebrated a wonderful Independence Day on the 4th. No one can deny us that. Freedom, speech, freedom to bear arms. And we all are here to represent what's good and great and kind about this nation. But that takes the courage to stand up and point out what's wrong with her and heal her. We're in a mess, people. We know that. You look at the numbers, they're wild. When I wrote my voter pamphlet statement a couple months back, I said that General George Washington's $250 only one red-headed Lincoln penny. Well, Mr. Kevin here demonstrated that it's actually worth a half a penny. And I was under the assumption that the national debt was only 18 trillion. Well, it's actually, if you really look at everything, it's 218 trillion. Some things right down the street, within 1,000 feet of here, are taxed and sold at 8,000% tax. Government, federal, state, and local government is here to serve you. But this is not a government. These are pirates. We have a great foundation, as Mr. Didier pointed out in our Constitution. We have great ethnos above that, but we have no stewards. We just need to have a fair playing field, which, like I've said before, I've never been in a fair fight. I've never been in one of them. But we need to get down to a 10% income tax and nothing else. 10% of the income from 100% of the wealth to pay 100% of bills instead of 10% of the wealth legislated 95% of you to pay the lamb's share. So that would be nice to, I told the Seattle Times in '98 I didn't want or need this job, but this is service, and somebody needs to get up on that hill and jump in that pit of flames and fire and wild animals and vipers and straighten this mess out. Thank you for being here.
Kevin Midlust.
That's what. Oh, forgive me. Airborne.
Hello? Whoa. There we go. I guess you're probably all wondering, I'm up here, wearing a t-shirt and a hat, and I got my sunglasses there. There's a simple explanation. I'm not a criminal. Why am I running? It's for the women. Why else would I do this? But I figure, I should do something. There's something that does actually need to be done, so I figured I should do something. So what I have here is a little visual aid. I'm gonna show you how the Federal Reserve, how our economic system works. Now, what I want to do, I can't do by myself. I'd like to get help from someone, if Gordon will. Right here, this water in here, you all understand that time is money. This water represents your money. Now, part of that, let's say about 30%, goes to the government. This represents the Federal Reserve. Now, Gordon, I want you to put about 30% of that into this cup.
Well, I've seen the impossible.
That's interesting.
That's a cylinder.
That's the cup.
Tubing.
That's the government tax you're putting in there.
Continue.
Now that should be good.
Proceed.
Okay, so we're giving away about 30% or 40% of our money to the government. So I guess we're good. So now I want you. Now we're making money. This represents a dollar. Your dollar. Gordon,
Yes, sir.
will you put my money into the dollar?
Certainly, I'll attempt.
Okay, that's enough. I'm kind of thirsty. That didn't work. Maybe we need more dollars. Maybe we need to print more dollars. Fill two up.
Okay, watch out. I'm good at this.
That's enough. I'm thirsty.
Quit drinking since I got the phone.
Okay, I'm still thirsty. Let's fill up a few more. And that's enough. That's not working. How about we just get rid of this whole system? And here, fill my silver cup up.
Right.
That's enough. When you back your money with silver and gold, it holds its value. Thank you.
Gavin Sign.
Hey everybody, great to be here. I am Gavin Sign from Afreda. A lot of familiar faces here. It's great to see you out here. I'm running for Congress because America is losing its freedom and it's losing its jobs. And I've been running for a while. In fact, I didn't wait for the seat to open up. I challenged Doc Hastings back in December due to a 56% constitutional voting record because the Liberty train is about to go off the cliff and we can't wait. We have to start standing on principle and standing up for our liberty. So I ran on that constitutional platform, and with that we've started some great conversations. But what we need in Congress is a real plan. We need a real plan, and that real plan starts with 100% constitutional voting. Constitutional voting taken literally, not infringing our guns, no background checks, ending the illegal entitlements and the unconstitutional agencies like the EPA, repealing and not replacing Obamacare. We need to get back to the foundations of our God-given liberty. Because if we don't, we will lose our country. If we want more of the same, it's easy to find. If we want more of the same, all we got to do is keep voting more of the same. We need a real plan, but a real plan goes beyond just 100% constitutional voting. That's an essential. That should be a prerequisite for anybody running for Congress. And if somebody's running for that office and they're not standing on 100% of the Constitution, they're not qualified to be there. But a real plan continues into standing on principle. Liberty has no cooperation with tyranny. When good works with evil, the evil inevitably overcomes the good. It happens every single time, and we've seen it in the path that America has taken. We have to stop collaborating with tyranny and start upholding our liberty. Start limiting government. Start pushing back the federal government. But there's more. A real plan has to carry on into unstoppable conversations. And unstoppable conversations are something that I bring uniquely to this race. We have to turn Washington, D.C. on its ear, Americans. Just sitting in a chair and leaning back and voting constitutional is a good start, but it's not enough. We're too far gone. If we do not step up and stand for liberty now, toe-to-toe with tyranny, our children and grandchildren will have to take that liberty back at the price of blood. And we are accountable for what we do this day. We need to return to our God-given liberty and the principles that make this nation great. We need representatives who will vote constitutional and stand toe-to-toe with tyranny. I'm Gavin Sign. I look forward to your questions this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.